means. I want to know everything about you.
Our dad is definitely not a giant rat.
That makes me feel like he's a rat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the big ticket interview for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. I am Perri Nemiroff, and I'm lucky enough to be here with some of the team behind the film. Hello, guys. Thank you for being here, and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So I got a lot of very specific Turtles questions I want to ask, but I am a New Yorker, so top priority for me is pizza. I've got a couple of pizzas that they eat in the 1980s animated series, and I want you to tell me if you would actually eat this pizza. First one feels like the softball to me. This is a chocolate chip pizza. Who's eating it?
100%.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. We tried a little Oreo one earlier.
Yeah, earlier today we ate a lot of disgusting pizzas, legitimately, like with noodles and sushi on it.
Nacho cheese.
So
you did the legit pizzas
We actually did it.
I feel like I could take on any pizza in the world.
Shamon had no problem whatsoever down every single one of those pizzas.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you said you tried the chocolate chip pizza.
course.
Was it chocolate chips or chocolate chip cookies?
It was like Oreos. It was like Oreo crumble.
There was a Snickers bar in one of them, I remember.
There was.
There's like bits of a Snickers bar.
Not good.
Things like that can make a big difference.
You're glad you were smart enough to skip out on that one.
Here's one that'll make your stomach turn more. A marshmallow and pepperoni pizza.
I think maybe I'll be able to do that. I feel like
Curious.
sometimes you have to try
curious.
things, you know?
Definitely.
You didn't see the bit, but you were describing some tame pizzas compared to what we just
Yeah.
It was
These are some
crazy.
pretty gross pieces.
They do eat that on the show, right?
They do.
Yeah.
All these they eat on. There's some guy on YouTube also who made
Who's
every
remaking
single
them?
pizza and tried them
crazy.
all, and
Did he like that one?
I think that one was tolerable. Peanut butter and clam pizza.
Oh, no, that's... I don't know.
If you could do that, please step away from me.
I think I'm pass.
All right, I'm glad we found the breaking point.
That's not pizza anymore.
So what was the worst one you did wind up eating?
Probably the one with the
mac
sushi.
and
No, I thought
cheese
the
and
noodle,
sushi.
there was
cheese
noodle with
pizza is
peanut
whack.
butter and jelly.
It was gross.
sounds
Mac
good.
and
And it was-
cheese
it was
itself
cold,
was
it was
gross,
cold.
and there
We
was
had a
sushi on
nacho
top
cheese,
of it.
popcorn,
Yeah, there was
licorice.
Licorice. That
jelly
one
bean
wasn't
pizza.
bad. There was one with the
That one was
jelly
bad.
instead of sauce. It
It was jelly, yeah.
It was
And
jelly
Dor-
with
jelly
ramen
Doritos
noodles.
noodle.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese sounds good because I like
does sound good.
But it was, that was my
It was like
favorite.
cold.
That one
It
was
was a
my
real
favorite.
bummer. That's why I
Everyone-
dove really head first into that one. It was a mistake.
We could use our whole interview to talk about
Yeah.
pizza, but now I got to get into your movie. Seth, I'll throw my first question about that to you. So I'm a big Turtles fan. I will watch, read, play anything this franchise churns out, but when you continue a series like this, you want to do so with purpose. So what
Yeah.
was your break story moment on this script that confirmed to you guys, we've got something and we should run with it?
It was very much from the very beginning. Our idea was to focus on the teenage part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And to me, the first movie I wrote was Superbad, like a high school movie. And I've made a lot of high school movies over the years. And I've always loved like teenage movies, and it was the one thing they never did with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They always had like men in their 20s and 30s doing weird teenage boy voices and trying to like emulate teenagers. And so that was really where it started, was like, what if we really focus on kind of the teenage desire to be accepted and to be normal, and this kind of like coming of age story, and what if we cast actual teenagers?
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I love about this franchise is that the more it grows and evolves, the more on-ramp opportunities it gives people. So everyone's got a different starting point with when they became a Turtles fan. So for each of you, can you tell me the first Turtle thing you had or experienced, whether it was watching a show, having a particular toy, you name it?
Me, it was actually taking my kids to the first movie. And I just thought it was a cool concept. And, when I first heard about the Ninja Turtles and the fact that they do karate and live in the sewer and they eat pizza, I was like, this concept is pretty dope. And then going to see the first animated movie, I mean, I was blown away by, the production and just how real it looked. And it's just the gift that keeps on giving, because, like, everybody in my family are huge Ninja Turtle fans.
Love to hear it. How about for the four of you? First Turtles thing in your life?
When I was like, I want to say like 8, I went to go see the Michael Bay movie. And I was a big fan after that. I was like, this is cool. Like the music was cool. Like the the CGI was sick. I was like, I'm a big fan now. And I had like Raphael's size. And I remember I used to like play fight with my friend with the little size. I used to think they were like to use as like swords, but they're actually used to like defend, which is
Yeah, for me, I'd say it was the 2012 television show I think that's the first time I kind of got introduced to it. And then I would just get kind of like the Legos. I had like the turtle lanyard. I think I probably dressed up as a turtle one year. And from then, like my love for it has just continued to grow and grow. So to be here is just surreal.
Yeah, I feel like with me, the Turtles have been like this monolith in culture for as long as I've been alive and like way before that, and they've just always been there. So I would say my first Turtles experience was like seeing the kids with the lunch boxes at school and like seeing the pajama pants at like sleepovers. Like they've just always been around, but I myself have never dove deep into it, and I kind of want to wait until after this movie has come out because I feel like we were doing something so new with like the teenage perspective of it. I almost thought like, well, would it help if I saw what an older actor did with the character or not? Like I was like, probably not. So I just kind of, this is my first foray into the Turtles universe, like officially. And we've been playing the games and I know all about them, but I've just never gotten into them. So this is my introduction. This is my ramp point. This is my ramp point right here.
You're your own ramp.
Yes,
playing that game right
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, for me, mine was the same as Shamon. That 2012 series on Nick really helped me. And just come home from after school and it would just always be on the TV. So, I mean, it was something that I've always gravitated towards and just a franchise that I've always enjoyed. So to be part of it with such an amazing cast is a dream come true, honestly.
So we can learn a little bit about your version of the Turtles. I got a two-parter for all four of you. Can you give me your Turtles' greatest strength at the beginning of this movie? But then also, I want their greatest weakness, the thing that will do them in their fight against Superfly. If they can't overcome it, work as a team.
I think for Raph, at least, I think his greatest strength could be his temper and his strength. I feel like at least in hand-to-hand combat, but I think it could also backfire on him and also be the downfall of Raph because he might get too hot-headed or let something get to him too much to where
That's a good character. See?
Exactly.
His greatest strength is his weakness.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So.
100%. I guess, like, with Leonardo, his thing is, like, at the beginning of the movie, he's very much, like, Splinter's, so, like, he loves all this ninjutsu stuff. He loves the honor that his dad is instilling into him. But we see throughout the movie, he becomes this person who wants to leave the sewers. At the beginning, he's the one like, guys, we're trying to be a crime-fighting team. But his, like, ambition to get out there really comes when he meets April. One, it's the first human the Turtles encounter, and it's the first, like, on a one chance that she didn't freak out and leave, like, that's incredible. What are the chances of that? So that, like, friendliness that she displays, it really gets Leo to be more acclimated to escaping the sewers and seeing who he is outside of Splinter's watchful eye and how he becomes a leader for his brothers, like, away from the teachings of his dad, you know? Yeah. I guess that's it.
Yeah, for Mikey, I'd say his greatest strength is how he's able to, like, improvising with everything, like go with the flow, kind of, you know, always aware of his surroundings at times. And, you know, if something's coming at him, he's gonna, you know, try to make something cool out of it. But I think that's also kind of like one of his weaknesses too, like not really paying attention and being so carefree and being not so, you know, with the team, like his brothers and everything like that, like not following Leo's rules. And he's like, you know, Leo's like formation, he's like, no, I'm a do a backflip and cartwheel into the battle. So, yeah.
That's why Mikey was always my favorite. I love his carefree attitude because I'm planned to a T. I don't have some of that vibe.
Yeah.
My character, I feel like Donatello, his strength is his intelligence, and it helps him out a lot because he plans every single move he makes, but also it kind of weakens him in the way that he doesn't really know always how to react. He always has to think things out and calculate things. But also just like he relies on his brothers, and like as much as he may seem like the smartest, he wouldn't be as successful as he is in fights or whatever he's doing if he didn't have his brothers to be by his side to support him.
All right, now, of course, we got to highlight Superfly here, too.
I mean, it's a new character, Superfly. It's kind of like an amalgamation and based off of the Baxter Stockman character, which is in the movie also. But it was a cool opportunity to... I like when these movies introduce new villains, but also have ones that I'm hoping will be included as well. And this was like a great opportunity to, kind of build off of the mythology of the previous iterations. There has been like fly people throughout the various versions of Ninja Turtles, but yeah, the idea of the character and of doing the character, it really kind of brought it all together and solidified things and was like a very funny but also scary scary, but also like relatable and understandable, but also like formidable villain. So it kind of like did a lot of things that we liked. And it was a giant, cool-looking fly monster, which we just thought looked cool, honestly.
Okay, so that tees up an idea I wanted to ask you about in terms of his motivation. So I know he's all about wanting the mutants to take over the world, but I feel like with a big grand plan like that, there's usually something personal lurking underneath. So what is motivating him on this mission from a personal perspective?
Oh, Superfly, you know, he just want to be loved. You know, he just want to be, you know, accepted by, you know, all mutants, of course, but, you know, humans too. But he realized, you know, at an early age, especially when they take out his pops, that he's got to kill them all, you know. All humans, all two-footers gotta go, you know. So he builds up a little resentment for people because of their bad reaction to mutants.
These are all sentences and explanations that I would expect from a Ninja Turtles
exactly.
movie.
From a children's film.
You brought up his group of mutants, and I know we get a glimpse of them in the trailer. Does anyone have a particular favorite in that group?
Paul Rudd is Mondo Gecko, and that was always one of my favorite characters. And he was not represented on screen that much, but it was always my favorite toy. And the toys honestly had like so much like thought put into how they were designed. Like, it's funny, me and Jeff both remembered like Mondo Gecko had like a roller skate on his tail. Like, and the implication was it was like too heavy to drag along behind him, so we tied a roller skate to it. And it's funny, it was like one of those things that both like stuck in our heads, and we put it in the movie. And Paul Rudd is just so funny, and I've known him a long time. But everyone, all the mutants are funny. Hannibal Buress is a weird frog creature, and Rose Byrne is a giant crocodile monster, and Natasha Demetrio's a bat creature. She only does bat creatures. They're all so funny, and John Cena. You know, everyone's so great, and we're lucky to get them all.
All right, I want to ask a little bit about the voice acting experience here. Seth, I'll start with you on that, because I know you were influenced by your experience working on The Lion King in terms of the actors actually being in the booth and recording during their sessions together, which most animated movies don't do. So first, can you give us, I guess, the reasoning behind why that isn't the typical way voice acting performances are captured, and what challenges you guys had to overcome in order to make that work on this film?
Yeah, I think they don't do it just because it's way harder. It's way harder to schedule, having everyone there at the same time. It's technically much harder to record it. And I was just telling these guys, like, yeah, I've been in like 20 of these animated movies probably over the years, and on almost all of them, I've never even met the other people until the premiere. You show up and you meet them, and you know, the type of comedy I like is very like naturalistic and reactive and loose, and that always is elusive in these types of movies. And then I'm good friends with Jon Favreau, and I've known him since I was young, and he put me in his Lion King movie, and we recorded all the stuff that was with me and Billy Eichner and Donald Glover, like together. We were actually together, and it was so like alive feeling that I like really, that stuck in my head. And then when we started to do this, I was like, we got to have them all together. And then we did one recording when they were all together, and it was like fine. And it was very like scripted and a little bit rigid. And then I remember like the recording booth studio we use has this like tiny little like booth, like a restaurant booth, where like, and like all four of them would like pack in there and like eat snacks and just like say insane things to one another. And I remember going and listening to them for a minute and coming back into the recording booth and being like, that's what we need to do. Like, we should throw out the script and just tell them what the scene is and have them all just like scream at each other and talk amongst themselves and kind of like bicker and banter and really try to capture their real energy. And then we started to do that. And then when we had Cube come in for Superfly, we had him actually there with them, and they could react off of him. And there were some sessions we had like 7 or 8 people like connected to recording at the same time, and it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. Can each of you, no spoilers of course, but can each of you give me an example of a time you were doing a scene and like stood there and said to yourself, we never could have nailed this unless we were all in the same room acting off of each other?
I definitely have the example. I don't think this is a spoiler, but I don't remember how it came about, but we were all just starting to make fun of the stereotypical New Yorker, pretty much. Like it just, and it evolved.
Am I going to take offense?
No, it's all good fun. It's all nice. But it's like they were like, "Yo, can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese?" And then like Brady would add in like, "Yo, the Aki way" or something, and then like Shamon would add in there, and like it just turned into this like beast of a scene that came out of nowhere. And it's like, I'm so excited to see that.
It's good in that way. Whenever I get a bacon, egg, and cheese now, I'm gonna get a bacon, egg. I'm always making your impressions of a guy who ordered a bacon, egg, and cheese.
I think it's so unique that Seth is. I've never worked on a project before, especially with like this many amazing people, and like where Seth would just be like, all right, guys, we'd come to this here and he'd be like, all right, argue about something related to TikTok and go. And that's literally how the sessions would go, and it would turn into like brotherly love in those arguments, which really helped. So I mean, it was a lot of fun with anyone that came in.
Superfly first meets the Turtles. The banter that goes on, the little extra things that are said in there, you probably just wouldn't have if it was just, you know, me just doing the recording, them just doing it. You wouldn't have those little, you know, natural gems that land when people are kind of, you know, when they know what they need to say, but they, you know, they're ready to riff too. You know, so I just think it made it a more dense and realistic experience than, you know, you can go to animated movies and sometimes you could tell, you know, the voices and how they come in that it's not, you know, kind of cohesive. But with this technique and with this way, you couldn't get nothing but juicy scenes.
It was all so like natural feeling, like always. It just felt so like real, which was funny because the scenes are like a giant fly talking to four turtles. So whatever you can do to make that feel as real as possible is good.
I love hearing that. We can't wrap this interview without highlighting Jeff. I'm obsessed with Mitchells versus the Machines. Now, this movie looks incredible. I think he's one of the best out there in terms of directing animated
Shout out
movies.
Jeff.
So good, Jeff.
Can anyone tell me something about him as an actor's director and leader on this production that you appreciated and you're excited for more actors to experience in the future when they work with him on more animated movies?
I think I say with Jeff, it was like a thing of, I appreciated how comfortable he made us feel at all times, how open he was, just like Seth was to our improv and things we were willing to add, and how collaborative, you know, he made it feel. And, you know, he was always so high-spirited throughout the whole movie, and, you know, made us laugh and, you know, shared some dope moments throughout the whole filming of it. So he's just an amazing person.
Yeah, his creativity is so strong. Like, and his energy. Like, if I go to the booth and I'm just like having a chill day, he knows how to get me going. Like, he knows like what to like say to like get me in this mood to be able to just say and improv whatever line that makes sense for that specific part of the scene.
Yeah, he's what I've realized, you know, in working, you could never do no wrong. You know, it was never where he was like, that's not working. Try it this way. It was kind of like, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. And, you know, I worked on the animated film, and guy was real technical. He wanted you to get every syllable right, and it was just a rigid way to work. Here, you felt like, I'm going to go in here for a couple of hours and have a bunch of fun, say the craziest stuff I could think of, and he's gonna say, you did great, we'll see you next time.
They say the term big booty boy races in this movie. So that made it. Mollywop.
Oh, that's it, yes.
They called the MPAA to Google Mollywop.
You can't use a gangbang term.
I'm going to wind down with one last one here, because I hear the Turtles' love of movies is on display in this film. So let's say all these characters got together and, you know, Bebop and Superfly, they are invited to have a movie marathon. What movie would each character pick to put on that lineup?
Are you crazy? I'm watching Superfly.
Superfly.
The original. You know what I mean? I'm watching Superfly, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good movie. Holds up really well.
Yeah, for sure. You know.
Richard Roundtree, was he? No,
man. It's Ron O'Neal, man. You talking about Ron O'Neal.
So we're starting with Superfly. Who's got the next movie on the list?
The Fly.
Well,
The Fly.
that's what I thought you were gonna go with.
Another good one.
Get it going.
Probably. Are we talking about from real life or a Turtles perspective?
Whoa, you take
I'll
that
take
on
whichever you're
yourself,
more
yeah.
passionate about.
Okay, from a Mikey's perspective, he'd probably do like probably be like a comedy special, like somebody's comedy special, or like like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or a Seth Rogen movie. I'll say
It's right there.
We're gonna do Superbad.
Yeah, Superbad. We'll throw Superbad in there.
We were gonna have them watching that in the movie, but there was no clip that we don't swear that we could use.
They're like, none of it we can use. Yeah.
I feel like Donnie would watch like The Matrix or something because he's so into technology.
yeah,
He's so into like the futuristic world. He would definitely like. He's definitely a little nerd. He's a little geek. Or he'd watch like some sort of anime movie.
I see Raph watching like Bloodsport or something.
Oh, yeah,
like,
great movie.
super aggressive, or like the Terminator or something like that. But
I feel like with Leo, his thing is it's kind of like with the combat of Raph, but more in like a I don't know how to describe it.
I feel like Leo's favorite movie is Rudy.
Exactly. Yeah. Or what's that
Like
one?
a nice-
Friday Night Lights.
What's that one? Lucas from the 80s?
Oh yeah, Lucas,
Yeah,
about the
Lucas.
nerdy kid who likes bugs.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's do that one. Let's just throw out Lucas. No, I was thinking John Wick, dude. I feel like he would love the action scenes.
He would like that.
Like something like that.
Mission
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah.
How about Bebop? What's he picking?
You know, probably The Lion King, because I also play a warthog in that movie, which I honestly didn't realize till I was like a year into playing a warthog into this movie, and I'm like, oh, only warthogs for me, apparently.